And the other, and you know, and the other video that, I mean, the car video was cool, but
Yeah.
I
You
don't
like
know.
the music? I pick the music.
I don't know. I mean, for me, you know, as a blind viewer of that video, it was just sort of like a person driving a car around. It did not thrill me, nor did it disappoint me. I was neutral about that video. I mean, I'm someone who's just simply not interested in cars, so it was kind of like,
Well,
oh,
I posted that video
yeah.
in a face group of Porsche, in the Porsche Facebook
Oh,
group,
that's cool. Okay, so
and
what did they say?
people loved it. People
That's
loved
cool. See, okay, see, that's about, again, audience. See, the audience of Porsche lovers would love that because you're celebrating that car. That's a really good commercial actually for the Porsche. That's really cool. Yeah, yeah.
it.
Well, excellent. So what are some videos that what are some videos that you're thinking about making? Maybe I can motivate you to either make it or
Um,
not make it.
okay, perfect. Well, I'm not planning anything crazy, maybe just a little twist on things here and there. But I actually have already recorded videos, just they haven't been edited, where I was driving a truck, where I was using chainsaw, uh, where I was chopping wood with an axe. Um, Visit to a sheep farm in Australia, fishing. I also going to make shortly video on gardening because I'm a very passionate container gardener and quite successful too. I think it's a great thing for whether visually impaired or non-visually impaired people to do. It's very therapeutic and makes you healthier if you eat fresh produce. So these are kind of the topics at the moment I'm going in the nearest time to cover.
That's cool. That's cool. One of my other guests also really enjoys gardening. See, so
Hmm.
that's, you know, gardening is a really great hobby. Mm, do you what pets do you have?
I only have a guide dog, Patrick, and
Wonderful. I had a guide dog too. Wonderful.
yeah. Well, he's a black Labrador in
So was
Australia.
so
For
was
some,
mine. My
yeah,
guide dog was a girl black lab.
for some reason, they do not train many breeds of dogs as guide dogs in Australia. They only train Labradors, Golden Retrievers, or a mix of those two breeds. And I love Labradors, but they shed way too much hair. So, yeah, that's the only problem. Otherwise, I love his temperament. He is amazing with my little one. So I could wish a better family guide dog, but I don't think I'm getting another one, to be honest. Um, in a way, I feel a little bit more confident walking with my cane because I get more information with it rather than when I walk, sort of glide through the, street with my dog. It's faster, but yeah, I think I will probably not straight away, at least not straight away, get another guide dog.
Yeah, yeah, me neither. My guide dog was wonderful. But you know, there are challenges. There are advantages and disadvantages to having a guide dog. But
Well,
they
our family travels a lot. We try to go at least twice a year on an international trip. We've been to Italy, Austria, Thailand, Malaysia, and lots of countries on our list to visit. Just with the coronavirus, it's been pretty
yeah,
cold. But if you live a lifestyle like that, then guide dog is a bit of a liability each time
it
you
really
have to find home,
no kidding. No kidding. Yeah.
and
And
especially if you live in Australia, because we have very strict border control regulations, so with bringing animals in and out, much
definitely.
stricter than in
Same,
America.
well, the America's still strict too. It was extraordinarily difficult for me to get my guide dog into several countries. So I don't miss that. That aspect was quite quite overwhelming and caused me a lot of anxiety in my life. It was when her and my guide dog, were living in the other country and everything was fine. That was awesome. Those were some really special memories. But um, however, I completely agree with you. It's the logistics of having a guide dog can make it overwhelming and rewarding and wonderful all at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I hope to be able to raise puppies for guide dogs organization. But I was told that they don't like blind people to raise their puppies, which was a bit of a shock to me. Because, you would think, yeah, they would try to give you a chance, as their client. But they reckon that a blind person is not able to monitor the puppy's behavior. Like it can get too cheeky and you may not be able to see everything the dog does. And I get that. So, I mean, I'm not judgmental of them, but it was a little bit disappointing because, yeah, that's something I wanted to do. It's a 6-month commitment. So, you can do that and you're giving back. I'm at that stage of my life. I've been very, very blessed. Like my husband, fortunately, is very successful in financial sense. So I'm at that stage of my life where I want to give back to the world, to people. So like YouTube, book, whatever, if I ever make any profit, I'm not going, to spend it on myself. It's going to go, to be spent for a good cause. There are so many people who need it much more, and that was the reason why I wanted to do puppy raising. But no, I'll have to think about some other nice projects.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, that is a little frustrating. I mean, my dream now in my life is for me to have my own snake. Do you want a snake?
No, I don't like snakes.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Why not? They're perfect pets. Why not? Okay.
What's about them? They you can't cuddle a snake. It never develops an attachment, like a relationship with you. So,
Oh, I don't know about that. I think a lot of people with disabilities find snakes extremely beautiful and attractive, and it gives me a great sense of pride and joy. I volunteered when I was going out in public more. I volunteered at a nature center near my home, and they had a
yeah.
lot of reptiles, and I got to like hold snakes and feed them,
Mhm.
and like, oh, so wonderful, so wonderful. Not the same as a black Labrador puppy, but still a sense of accomplishment and an overwhelming sense of safety. But that's fine. You there in Australia, you have a lot of wonderful animals, all sorts of creatures, the
We have
skinks,
too
lizards.
many animals around. One night I woke up and I like yelled out to my husband, "Something's hopping on my face." He was like, "You imagine it?" I was like, "No, let's turn on the light, have a look." And he looks and said, "There is nothing there. You imagine it." And then he lifts my pillow and there sits a beautiful tree frog under my pillow.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah,
frogs can be kept as pets too. See, that's kind of a visual pet, but if you're sighted, it's very attractive to buy these little. They're very expensive, these little tree frogs, and they're just pretty little things. But they're incredibly delicate though, so I don't know why people like this. But anyway, that's all fine. That's all fine and well. And are you or do you follow football, pro football? Who's your favorite football team these days?
I do not follow any sports. I do not follow any politics. I love reading fiction books and a little bit of well, actually, quite a bit of nonfiction as well.
Hmm.
But I read a lot in Russian, I have to say, because of
Oh,
course,
that's one that of course you should keep up. You should keep up Russian, and I mean I'm the same. When I'm in France, I only speak French, so I'm the same way. You have to maintain, second languages or first languages.
Definitely. Yes. So I love fitness, I love gardening, and I love reading. And of course, my kids keep me busy. I'm trying to be an active and involved parent, so there is hardly a day when we just stay at home. We usually go somewhere. I take my little one to trampoline lessons, to swimming lessons. My big boy goes to basketball and cadet program. He wants to join Navy when he grows.
Hmm.
So a lot of things to do, and my husband is very, very busy. So I guess, a lot of household sort of duties fall on me, which is fine. I love cooking. I love gourmet cooking. So yeah, I'm busy, busy, busy.
Well, that's so good. That's so good. Do you speak to your children in Russian or in English?
Yes, I do, but they lazy things try, if they can get away with it, answer in English. It's just so much easier, especially for well, really for both of them, to not have to switch from one language to another, because obviously, at school, at kindergarten, in extracurricular activities, it's all in English, and then mom, the odd one, speaks to them in Russian, and they have to sort of work harder to have to switch. But yes, I do push for that. I do want them to keep Russian. And I have quite a few Russian friends around me, and yeah, we get together, try to encourage kids to communicate between them in Russian. So yeah.
So good. So good. Yeah, I completely defend that point. I think that's really important. I think it's an important life skill to be able to speak more than one language. It's kind of an important
Well,
skill in life.
Leo Tolstoy said that you are as many times a person as many languages you know. Basically, it's a bit
Definitely.
of a poor translation, but I hope it makes sense.
Basically, yeah, it's interesting. You can have two different. You can have a personality in each language. Definitely, definitely.
Personality as well as, you know, it just enriches your worldview, um, and also empowers you to understand many more people.
Without doubt. Without doubt. Well,
I'm
cool.
afraid
And
my little one has come in. Michael, can you please close the door? Okay.
well, within the remaining 2 minutes or so, so where did you go in the United States when you were studying in the States, by the way?
Yes, it was very exciting. So it was in 2003, I think. And I lived in Texas, in Dallas Fort Worth area, for almost a year. Um, so I had a very wonderful hosting family. They were a wonderful Christian family, and they taught me some life lessons just by observing them, how they lived. And my host sister was visually impaired, and I, for the first time, could see, because as I told you, I come from a boarding school, studied at the boarding school for the blind in Ukraine. I had to see what she was going through in a normal public school, because she had zero vision, and at that time I could see a little bit. So like I could even struggling but get away without using cane, but she had to use cane. She had to obviously it was much harder for her. And she even got slapped in the face. Someone slammed her lunchbox in her face. And she taught me a lot by her courage, by she would not give up. And recently she donated one of her kidneys to her father to save his life. She
Wow. Wow.
has been my hero. She is my hero, and she always will. And she also her name is Laurel Wheeler, Wheeler.
One so good. So we're now running. Now we're basically out of time. Aaron Richmond, that was another really exciting edition of Aaron's Opinion. Listen to us everywhere, and as I like to say, have a good day.